Do you ever have a nightmare that feels so real you wake up in a cold sweat? Well, imagine if those nightmares bled into your real life. That might sound far-fetched, but it's actually the premise of the classic horror movie franchise, A Nightmare on Elm Street. They discovered that each victim had died from a heart attack caused by an extremely rare sleeping disorder called sudden, unexpected nocturnal death syndrome, or SUNDS for short. Although SUNDS cases have been reported since the 1970s, it still remains officially unexplained. But how much of this movie is really based on reality? As the director said, "I wanted something very primitive, very visceral, something that would hurt them and not hurt them back." Little did he know that this line would become prophetic. Let's find out. It earned over $25 million on its initial run, which was more than 5 times its budget. The film introduced a fresh concept in the horror genre, the idea that you could die from a nightmare. Freddy became a household name and spawned 8 sequels, a TV series and a crossover film with another horror icon, Jason Voorhees in Freddy vs. Jason. There was also a wide range of merchandise, including action figures, comic books, and even a theme park ride. This was further cemented by Freddy's unique character. Unlike other horror villains like Michael Myers or Freddy taunted his victims and invaded their subconscious. And while the real-life SUNDS cases remain a mystery, the movie's legacy lives on. And if you want to learn more about scary stories that could be true, stay tuned for more updates. We'll catch you in the next one. As Craven himself said, the scariest stories are the ones that are grounded in some real truth. In a way, he represented the dark side of our own minds. It turns out that Wes Craven merged the real-life deaths with a deeply personal nightmare. Some believe that A Nightmare on Elm Street tapped into something real, perhaps a manifestation of unresolved trauma. Others believe that Freddy represents our darkest fears, and that the movie merely gave a face to what already existed in our collective unconscious. He explained, "When my daughter was born, I started having dreams that she was being chased by a creature through a maze, and I realized the next day that the creature looked exactly like me. With this realization, Freddy was born." Before we start, don't forget to subscribe for more videos of scary stories that could be true. Wes Craven, the director of the original 1984 film, based the story on a series of mysterious deaths that were reported in the Los Angeles Times. It told the tale of a group of young Southeast Asian men who had reported terrifying nightmares of being chased by shadowy figures only to die in their sleep soon after. If we take a closer look at him, we can spot some disturbing details. First off, his burned face is meant to tap into our most primal fears. As Craven himself said, "I wanted something that would be universally frightening. I thought of nothing more frightening than a human face, a disfigured human face." But what about his choice of clothing? Why does Freddy wear that awful red-green sweater? Well, according to the man himself, he just wanted to design something that would be visually jarring. And while this may seem like just another crazy horror movie plot, there was a real-life mystery surrounding these deaths that baffled medical science. It wasn't until years later that doctors found a common link between all of these deaths. With this eerie backdrop in mind, let's now turn our attention to the movie's most iconic character, Freddy Krueger. But where did the idea of a killer who preys on people while they're asleep come from? To complete his look, Craven gave him a glove with razors, which served as a metaphor for animal claws. A Nightmare on Elm Street was released in 1984 and was a breakout hit. However, despite the film's success, SUNDS cases continue to appear in medical journals even after the movie's release. In any case, the film's impact on pop culture is undeniable. Looking back, it's clear that A Nightmare on Elm Street changed the face of horror forever. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more content.